Hello and welcome to the program. This edition of Newsroom series covering Nigeria's Northeast. I am Bukola Koka. First, the top story. The governor of Edo State, Monday Ukpevolo, has extended his heartfelt congratulations to the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno, on his recent and historic defection to the ruling All Progressives Congress. Governor Ukpevolo commends Governor Eno's bold and courageous decision to align with the progressive ideals and national vision of the APC. According to him, the defection demonstrates a profound commitment to the advancement and development of Akwa Ibom State, ensuring its seamless integration into the federal government's developmental agenda under the renewed hope mantra of President Bola Tinubu. He says he is confident that Governor Eno's move will strengthen the APC's presence in the South-South region and contribute significantly to national cohesion and development. The Edo State governor assures his Akwa Ibom counterpart of the unwavering support and cooperation of the Edo State government and the entire APC family. Former military president General Ibrahim Babangida has commiserated with the government and entire people of Mokwa over the recent flood disaster that killed more than 200 people in Mokwa local government area. The former military ruler offered his condolences when he received a Niger State government delegation led by the Deputy Governor Yakubu Garba on a Salah homage at his residence in Mina. General Babangida describes what happened in Mokwa as unfortunate, but says it was ordained by Allah and enjoined the residents of the state to continue to pray for the souls of the deceased. He commends the administration of Governor Umar Bago for its developmental strides and calls for sustenance, even as he gives assurances of his continued support. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, has called on the federal government to accelerate the rehabilitation and expansion of the Alau Dam to avert a repeat of last year's devastating flood. The capital, Maiduguri, and surrounding local government areas experienced their worst flooding in decades following the collapse of the Alau Dam in 2024. In response, the federal government approved the sum of 80 billion naira for the reconstruction and expansion of the dam, with a groundbreaking ceremony held in March 2025 to mark the commencement of the project. Responding to a concern expressed by the Shehu of Borno, Dr. Abubakar Ibn Umar Garba El Kanemi, during the traditional Salah homage at the government house on the need to fast-track the project, Governor Zulum expressed similar concern over the slow pace of work, warning that the rainy season has already begun. The governor then pledges to connect all local government headquarters to the national grid before the end of his tenure. He also promised massive road rehabilitation once the Pulka Quarry plant is completed. The Taraba State government says it is taking proactive steps to enhance food sustainability and curb the recurring farmer-herder crisis through livestock value chain enhancement and the introduction of policies that will ensure a win-win situation for all parties. The secretary to the Taraba State government, Gebon Kataps, stated this when the World Bank Implementation Support Mission team visited the state to assess the level of projects delivery by the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project. According to him, the state government will soon establish Taraba State University of Agriculture and Climate Change, as well as the Livestock Development Commission to transform Taraba State's agriculture sector.
The Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project is a strategic measure of the federal government funded by the World Bank and implementing state governments to improve livestock productivity, encourage commercialization, and build the capacities of authorities to mitigate conflicts between farmers and herders. This implementation support mission's visit by the World Bank team to Taraba State in northeast Nigeria is to assess the progress of projects executed, its implementation, and the challenges.
The project LPRIS is an acronym for Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project. It is a project that is livestock-centered, and it is aimed at improving livestock productivity, commercialization, enhancement of livestock value chain, and the empowering of authorities at different levels to handle eligible crises between crop farmers and livestock rearers in the 20 implementing stages of the project.
As you know, the project was delayed for more than 1 year and a half for some state. And out of the 6 years, that means we have around less than 3 years now, because the midterm of the project was in March. So we need to accelerate in all aspects of the project to be able to achieve the objective of the project, which is to improve the livestock productivity and also the resilience and also the livelihood of the livestock farmers at the end of the day.
Governor Agbu Kefas, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, says his administration has a blueprint to ensure food security and fast-track the chain process of the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project in Taraba State.
The bill for the establishment of the Taraba State University of Agriculture and Climate Change was laid at the House of Assembly. The first reading on that university is going to be cited on the Mambila Plateau in Guinea. So we are very excited. The idea is to have a university that is particularly professional. And of course, I'm sure it's on the mainstream of the media. We've also transmitted to the House of Assembly for the law for the establishment of the Taraba State Livestock Development Commission. And so as soon as that is passed, in fact, we've already constituted the commission members. We're only waiting for the House to pass the law so that we announce. These are all issues that we are doing to give Taraba State a center stage in terms of agriculture.
Shortly after the visit, the World Bank team embarks on an assessment of its projects, including cold chain facilities for vaccine storage, disease surveillance laboratory, artificial insemination center, livestock farms, among several others.
Taraba can access up to $20 million from this project. Then the Livestock Service Center alone can take up to $6 million. So that is what Taraba is gaining from this very important project that is going to our livestock farmers. And you know the potential of livestock in Taraba State, especially cattle, sheep, goat. A lot of potential is here, and we are here to harness the potential.
The state government promises to continue to do everything possible to open up its potentials to the world and believes that with the support of the World Bank and other investors, Taraba State will get it right in livestock production.
In Adamawa State, Governor Umaru Fintiri says his administration's policy of empowering women economically while creating political space for them to play leadership roles has made a positive impact on the state's development efforts. Governor Fintiri made this disclosure at an event in Yola, the state capital, organized by the state government in collaboration with the European Union, Oxfam, GIZ, ZEPAN, and the Federal Republic of Germany in Adamawa. The Empowerment Project for Women is aimed at promoting the rights of women and improving gender equality through conflict-sensitive approaches. This event, holding in Yola, Adamawa State, is the climax to an 18-month fieldwork in Guyuk and Michika local government areas, which targets the training and empowerment of over 270 women in conflict-affected communities.
To improve the economic and social participation of returnees.
Setting the tone for the program is the country director of the implementing partner, Oxfam, Mr. Daniel McCormick, who says it has achieved its objectives.
The project is part of BMZ's program on social and economic participation of returnees, IDPs, and host populations in Northeast Nigeria to improve the economic and social participation of returnees, internally displaced persons, and vulnerable members of host communities.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs, Neido Kufuto, says there is still a lot in the offing for women in Adamawa, while the traditional ruler of Guyuk, His Royal Majesty Dishon Dansada, representing the benefiting communities, applauds the impact of the interventions.
The Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development is ready to support in sustaining the reforms this project has started. We are ready to partner with all stakeholders on the project here today to expand this model of other local government areas where women are still unheard. Harmful norms will linger, still linger, and hope is waiting to rise. Let this day be a promise that was worked in Michika and Guyuk will inspire transformation across Adamawa State and beyond.
You have done exceptionally well, and because you are serving humanity, you shall break all barriers by the special grace of God. We know what you have been focused on. Of course, you are helping to eradicate poverty, to empower women so that they can be financially independent. When a woman is educated and have a financial independence, then the nation will grow, nation will develop. For all that you have been doing in our domains, Adamawa State and Nigeria at large.
Governor Umar Fintiri, represented by the Commissioner for Transportation, Wunfe Anthony, commends the development partners for the Women Emancipation Project, which is in tandem with the administration's policies.
We are so grateful for the partnership. They have never failed us. And they can see that with the testament of what women or men have come and said concerning our partnership, they are now being informed and well educated. They are able to work in synchrony with their husbands and family, to the extent that they also have been able to be endowed politically, economically, have been able to put food on the table and even build houses. And there is peace in the home between husband and wife. I think they have done so much and we are not regretting. I wish that they will relax or continue again.
The project, which started in December 2023, focuses on improving the participation of women and other socially excluded groups in social, political, and economic activities and decision-making processes, especially in conflict-affected areas. Welcome back. It's still Newsroom series on Channels Television. The phrase, "you have the right to remain silent," is usually announced by police officers during the arrest of a suspect. And it's not just a cliche, but an actual right under the Nigerian Constitution. Over the years, this right has been violated through unethical conduct and continued erosion of relevant constitutional sections by certain prosecutors and investigators when effecting arrests or taking statements. It is against this backdrop that the Gombe State branch of the Nigeria Bar Association is partnering with Gombe State Police Command to give a refresher training for prosecutors and investigators.
In the criminal justice system, thorough investigation and prosecution are vital variables for an effective delivery of justice. This handshake between the Gombe branch of the Nigeria Bar Association and the Gombe State Police Command aims to bring investigators and prosecutors up to speed with changes in the provisions of the country's constitution and Criminal Justice Act.
Today's capacity building seeks to offer a platform for cross-learning and also understanding each other's legal role between the police and the legal community, a necessary synergy for a more efficient criminal justice system. I commend the leadership of the NBA for their foresight and collaborative spirit. I also thank the facilitators and resource persons who have made time to be here. To our officers participating in this training, I urge you to approach every session with an open mind. Your attendance is not merely to fulfill a duty. It is to elevate your professionalism renew your purpose, and reinforce your commitment to justice.
The Gombe State NBA chairman, Benjamin Sati, believes the capacity building workshop is a clarion call for a return to professional conduct during arrests, investigation, and possible arraignment of suspects.
Except if there are good reasons why he should conceal his identity. He introduces himself as, I am officer so, attached to so formations of so organizations, and I have been sent to invite you to our office. These are ethical issues. When you come to take the statement, if the man says, I can write, do not write for him. If the man says, no, I cannot write, but I want to call my brother, who is well educated, to write my statement, do not insist that you have to write for him. If the man says, I do not want to say anything, the Constitution says, you often hear police in movies says, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used against you in evidence. That is a constitutional right to choose not to say anything, to choose not to make a statement to the police, to the civil defense, to NDLEA, to EFCC. You have the right to say, I don't want to make a statement. The burden of identifying who committed a crime is yours who alleged. The burden of proving in court is of him who is prosecuting. You, the defendant, the man who is charged to court, does not have an obligation to prove his innocence according to the law, but it's yours to prove his guilt.
And for the investigators and prosecutors across various police divisions in Gombe, these investigative procedures and legal best practices have been largely adhered to by the Gombe State Police Command.
In the court, when you are performing prosecution, the suspect may likely to tell you that you compel him or you take his statement on duress. But when you invited him, when recording his statement together with his either legal aid counsel, his relative, definitely the person must be there and he will witness it. And definitely, if you go to the court, you will tell the court that when I am recording his statement, so person was there. And definitely he must endorse his statement.
With similar capacity building workshops scheduled for the future, the NBA and the Gombe State Police Command intend to close ranks towards ensuring more police officers are trained to address issues arising from the omission of important investigative steps before cases go to trial in court.
In Yobe State, the government is partnering with the federal government and relevant healthcare agencies in the country to reduce maternal and newborn child mortality in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Mohamed Lawan Gana, disclosed this in Damaturu at the dissemination meeting on Comprehensive Emergency Obstetric and Newborn Care, CEMON, and Bill for Quantities Assessment. The meeting, which drew participation of health actors within and outside the state, is geared towards highlighting the maternal gaps and securing sustainable funding for improved maternal and newborn care.
Stakeholders in the Yobe health sector converge on the Emergency Operations Center in Damaturu, the state capital, to disseminate the Comprehensive Emergency Obstetric and Newborn Assessment Report. The Director, Family Health, who doubles as a state coordinator of the CEMON in the state, gives an overview of the assessment.
We have about 10 modules, where these modules, I think, they are the one that we use where at the national, also at our zonal training before we embark on the CEMON facility assessment. So healthcare, one of the thematic is healthcare workers' competencies, while in the module infrastructure, amenity and referrals, also human resource for health. In module 1, if we talk about overview of the health infrastructure. Module 2, we are taught general maternity walkthrough. Then module 3, overview of the neonatal unit infrastructure. Then overview of the pharmacy laboratory in module 4. Then overview of the human resource for health and performance in module 5. Then maternal and newborn neonatal health services management, including quality of care improvement in module 6. Normal labor and delivery and essential newborn care in level 7. The managing of obstetric complication in level 8, module 8. The management of newborn complication and cesarean section in module 9 and module 10, respectively.
Dr. Sikiratsu Kailani, a consultant of obstetric, expresses worry over the maternal mortality despite huge investments by governments and partners.
The maternal mortality in Nigeria is the worst worldwide. We are second only to India with our population is not proportionate to India. And if we must reduce this bad stigma, we have to start. Dr. Aisha mentioned that nations are rated. Whether a nation is a good nation, is a viable nation, it's the mirror with which that nation is looked at are the maternal and child indices. And all these indices are worse.
The Commissioner for Health in the state explains that the administration of Governor Mai Mala Buni has come up with policies to bring healthcare services to the people's doorsteps.
We recognized this as a problem since the inception of this administration. And of course, that is why when His Excellency came into power, he took it as a policy to approach the reforms of the healthcare system through a health system strengthening approach. And starting with improving access to healthcare services, bringing healthcare services to the doorsteps of the people.
Development partners who spoke through the representative of the United Nations Children's Education Fund pledged to support the state government in achieving its universal healthcare coverage.
If you look at the NDHS, Yobe State has the highest fertility rate in Nigeria. Now, with these expectations, with these figures, we should also expect increase in maternal and child morbidities and mortalities. So we would like to congratulate Yobe State for this proactive initiative towards addressing maternal and child morbidity in the state.
The data from the assessment is expected to be integrated into planning and policy formulation for maternal and newborn health programs of the state.
And there's more on health. The Gombe State government is using homegrown technologies in producing nutritious, therapeutic, ready-to-use food supplements for children under the age of 5. With malnutrition numbers reaching 51% for children under the age of 5, these ready-made therapeutic foods are Gombe State's love recipe for its children.
According to UNICEF, Gombe State has a high burden of malnutrition, with 51% stunted, 8.8% wasted, and a whopping 64% of pregnant women suffering from anemia. It is against this backdrop that Gombe State government came up with this nutritious, therapeutic, and ready-to-use food called Garin Inua, meaning Inua's nutrition formula, as a veritable NAFDAC-approved formula for Gombe State children.
Well, first of all, let us give gratitude to God for bringing us here. Basically, this meeting is to distribute malnutrition formula that was initiated and developed in this state and has gotten the approval of NAFDAC. We are practicalizing our appeal that if we really want to develop and we want to overcome challenges, we must come back home.
In order to cover more ground, mothers and students have been taught how to prepare the nutritious supplement to fight malnutrition and boost the entrepreneurial spirit of trainees.
Food connects us all in different ways. And what better way than kunu? Everybody knows kunu. Whether culturally, ethnically, religiously, all of us take kunu, in whatever way it is. The Yorubas, the Hausas, the Fulanis, everybody knows kunu and how to prepare kunu. But what differentiates this, our own Gari Inua, is in the proportion, scientifically made, in proportions that are adequate to cater for children who are moderately malnourished, because our aim is even prevention. We are not even looking at treatment, we are looking at prevention so that we don't have these malnourished children in Gombe State.
For nursing mother, Garin Inua is not just another formula, but a lifesaver.
The formula is very good. Our children don't stool anyhow, and they're healthier now since they started taking it. We have nothing to say but thanks to the governor. May God grant his heart's desires. Mothers who don't use it don't really care about their children and their health. If you love your child, you will use the formula.
Gombe State plans to produce more of these nutritious, therapeutic, ready-to-use food by training more women and decentralizing the production of the formula in its ongoing efforts at countering the unflattering narrative and negative indices, chipping away at the health and well-being of teeming under 5 and pregnant women in the state.
And that's our offering for you on the program today. Thank you for being there. Join us again, same time next week, when we'll bring you another round of editions of the program, Newsroom series. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.